Continuing from the previous episode 2855. In the Holy Inquisition Mountains, the voices are still full of people, and the heads are surging, but at this time their eyes are extraordinarily dignified, and they are condensed on the sky together. Above the sky, the power around Killing Angel's body became more and more terrifying, and a dazzling energy light group beat violently, which was disturbing. This crazy woman. Will she pull us together when she is dying? Countless people were terrified, but they were powerless, because the power of the Killing Angel's self-destruction had already surpassed their cognition. Tianming. The Thundermaster slightly pushed the gray thunder arc in his body, and then his expression became solemn. Once the Killing Angel completely exploded, I am afraid that the entire kingdom of angels will become lifeless. Just try your best. Xiao Tianming gritted his teeth fiercely, and immediately he and Lei Zhu mobilized the little power left in his body. Even if the power of the two of them was like the light of Firefly under the supernatural power of Killing Angel, there was no sign of flinching. In the distance, the Endless Flame Alliance belongs. The Ally. A group of confidants turned their attention to Xiao Yan. Get ready, you must not let the Killing Angel explode. Xiao Yan nodded, and the majestic flames of heaven and earth continued to pour out. Wait a minute. The Holy King narrowed his eyes slightly, as if he saw some mysterious power, and immediately pressed down the power of everyone. Peefed. And at the moment when this panic started to spread, the temperature between heaven and earth instantly became hot, an invisible crack appeared strangely in the void, and then a pitch-black sarcophagus came out. The light flowed on the sarcophagus, as if it was not a mortal thing at all. At this time, an old shadow stepped on it, and the latter's eyes were closed, like an ordinary old man. But it is such a huge gap, anyone can clearly feel the intense pressure of heaven and earth in this old man's body. The strength of this guy is definitely stronger than Slaughter Angel and Xiao Tianming. Your ambition is too big, I won't give you a chance. As soon as Xiao Yushan appeared, he smiled faintly at the Slaughtering Angel in a state of madness, and then raised his old palm and patted the Slaughtering Angel. In an instant, the world was silent, as if everything had returned to its original appearance. In the blink of an eye, all the actions of the Slaughter Angel trying to self-destruct and destroy everything were instantly shattered. The erosive power of the Bow of Destruction became more and more powerful, destroying all the vitality of the Slaughter Angel. I am afraid that the fall of the Killing Angel is only a matter of dozens of breaths. Quasi-God. Xiao Yushan. At this moment, the despair in the soul of the Slaughtering Angel climbed into his heart, staring at the old shadow in a stunned manner, and from his body, he saw the limit of this world. If you want to blame it, blame the gauze. If it wasn't for its appearance, I wouldn't be able to shoot you. I don't think you know where it came from. You can only use your blood to draw out the catastrophe in advance. Xiao Yushan's eyes were bright and piercing, as if he was dissolving the last doubts in Angel Killing's heart. Obviously, the reason why the latter did not show up in the first decisive battle between heaven and earth was probably to draw out the mastermind behind the scenes who didn't know if he existed. In this case, what is the difference between you and the outsiders? The Killing Angel sneered, and the two seemed to be communicating with their souls. I am for the world, you are for yourself, how can you agree? Xiao Yushan shook his head. Countless dazzling powers of annihilation flickered, and the power that the Slaughter Angels desperately gathered slowly annihilated, and everything seemed to have already settled. Lord Patriarch, why are you here? Just after the crisis was lifted, Xiao Tianming looked at the twilight old man who was walking on the edge of the sarcophagus in a daze, and said in a bitter voice. As soon as they parted from the underworld, the life force of the Patriarch was extremely strong, and it took a long time for him to turn into the appearance of a dying old man. Could it be because of the bow from the asterisk just now? After all, the power of the Bow of Extinction is too terrifying, and every activation requires a lot of life. I'm here, of course I have something to do. After Xiao Yushan finished speaking, the Slaughter Angel was completely destroyed. Only the Scepter of the Angel and two extremely dazzling light groups floated on it. Above the three, there was endless divine power. This is. Lei Zhu was in a trance, staring at the three items. The soul power of the Killing Angel has already reached the soul of the gods. This is the origin of the soul of the gods. With it, you can attack the gods. In this world, there are only a few people before and after the soul of the gods. Tianyuan is too high, Killing Angels, Even the old man has not stepped into the soul of the gods. Xiao Yeshan narrowed his eyes slightly, and his loud voice resounded in the ears of everyone in the entire kingdom of angels. Killing angels. Divine soul? Such extraordinary beings have all fallen into Xiao Yeshan's hands. At this moment, even if someone covets these three sacred objects, no one dares to act rashly. Quasi-god Xiao Yeshan, that is the pinnacle of this world. The soul of the gods. And with Xiao Yeshan's deliberate voice, the whole world seemed to tremble slowly, and there was a lot of greedy aura surging. Among those auras, there was no lack of an existence that was as powerful as Xiao Yeshan. Xiao Yeshan also smiled proudly, feeling the extremely perfect faint aura hidden in this piece of heaven and earth. Extraterritorial, come out. I know you've been coveting this thing for a long time. Xiao Yeshan's old voice seemed to carry some kind of terrifying oppression that made people admire him, and the whole world trembled slightly during the conversation. Xiao Yeshan's voice just fell, and in the distance of the angel kingdom, a piercing sound of the seal breaking suddenly sounded, and the evil twisted black lines continued to gather, and then an indescribably huge evil mouth formed in the void and twisted. Ruthlessly and greedily devoured everything in this world. The billowing demonic energy frantically poured out from the huge mouth of the crack. The demonic energy was as thick as a substantive liquid, causing the whole world to lose its color. Guru, feeling such a change, countless powerhouses are in a trance, looking at this abyss mouth in disbelief. To be able to make Xiao Yeshan have such a dignified existence. Looking at the whole world, I'm afraid that it is only the head of the foreign evil clan. Quasi-god. Two quasi-gods. The most powerful existence between heaven and earth actually appeared together today, and the shock in the minds of countless people couldn't be more. After a while, the entire crack trembled violently, and I saw some mountains in the distance of the angel kingdom. The void was torn apart and collapsed, and a huge and indescribable monstrous shadow slowly climbed out of the crack. That aura is absolutely domineering and despising all sentient beings, even if it is thousands of meters away. A terror from the depths of the soul pours into my heart uncontrollably. The soul of the gods, the holy soul of an angel. It's some good stuff. The shadow in the crack opened gloomily, and endless demonic energy roared out continuously. That kind of aura, like the king of demons, made people shudder. Please remember this book's first domain name. Tang San Chinese website mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 2856. That is, the leader outside the realm? At this moment, watching the void in the distance of the kingdom of angels begin to stir, and countless evil and demonic energy rippling up, the eyes of countless people present shrank invariably, and even their hearts received a great impact, prestige. Even if the other party has not fully set foot in this world, the power of that huge golem alone is enough to tear apart all the creatures here. That kind of breath is too powerful, so powerful that it has already surpassed the limit of the world's knowledge. Thinking of this, countless human powerhouses all turned their eyes to the Xiao clan's patriarch, Xiao Yeshan. During the first battle of heaven and earth, the fluctuations of the battle were extremely violent. If it weren't for the Xiao clan's personal soldiers, how could there be a stable situation today? Guilt and remorse kept pouring out of my heart. Is it the decisive battle of the Second World War? Among the crowd, some human world powerhouses who were trying to embrace the kingdom of angels clenched their fists tightly, even if they had participated in the siege of the Xiao clan, but now the enemy is in a trance. A wrong step, but they have no way back, and now I am afraid they can only fight against the strong enemy first, and then settle their private affairs. Xiao Yeshan, why don't you give me these things? Can I consider letting you go? In the huge evil crack, a deafening sound suddenly burst out from the golem, causing the entire sacred sky to become dark, and the power of countless angels that belonged to the kingdom of angels quickly collapsed. Under the erosion, crumbling. The leader outside the realm? Damn. It seems things have gotten even weirder. Girl, we don't have much time left. In a certain shrine in the kingdom of angels, with the complete fall of the killing angels, the queen of angels and others are sitting side by side on the shrine at this time, and it seems that they are continuously delivering the most sacred to a girl. The power of angels, trying to cast a new queen of angels and repeat the glory of the kingdom of angels. A projection with the power of the source. It seems that you are still afraid of me. However, if this source projection can kill you, it will be enough to affect your foundation. In that case, this layout is not wasted. Xiao Yeshan stepped on top of the strange sarcophagus, like an eternal asterisk of war, looking down on the world. Maybe, as soon as the voice fell, the evil creature carrying the projection of the first source outside the domain in the evil crack released endless majestic demonic energy. The demonic energy converged into the sea, and between the rushing and roaring of the sea of demons, a golem of hundreds of thousands of meters was looking up to the sky. Xiao, covering the sky and blocking the sun, charged towards Xiao Yeshan in the distance. Everywhere along the way, the space cracked open, and countless evil and powerful forces of destruction caused despair. Boom! Xiao Yeshan's body trembled slightly, the sarcophagus under his feet erupted with endless scorching flames, and a sky-reaching Milky Way that was almost the same size as the evil golem swept out. In the Milky Way, there is an extremely surging flame power, and that power is actually countless times stronger than ordinary holy flames. As soon as the attack poured out, they converged together in an instant. In an instant, the sky and the earth turned pale, and the situation changed. The battle between these two. It was inextricable for a while. Countless people were stunned, their eyes filled with extremely shocked expressions, and they stared at the two figures that were constantly flashing above the sky. Those two people represent the peaks of the two forces today. However, even if they are as powerful as Xiao Yan, Xiao Tianming and others, they cannot completely see their battle. Quasi-god powerhouses are so terrifying. Ended. The kingdom of angels, it's time to reorganize. The next moment, Xiao Tianming's sharp eyes fell on the archangels, seraphs and other powerhouses below. The reason why these powerhouses are loyal to the killing angels is naturally because of some of the latter's control methods. Now that the culprit is dead, it will undoubtedly become the mainstay of the kingdom of angels. Without the slaying angels, the status of the kingdom of angels would probably be shaken like never before. The battle between the two quasi-god powerhouses was earth-shattering, but just when the residual power of the battle was about to pour out, the space in front of everyone suddenly twisted in a strange way, and then one after another extremely evil figures flashed out of thin air. That feeling seems to be coming prepared. This is an alien race? And the human center? Not good? With the black and evil figures suddenly pouring out in the air, there are also many powerful auras in the crowd. These powerful men in the center of the human world who had emerged from the crowd just appeared, and they gave off a sinister smile like a ghost, and immediately attacked the crowd with vicious attacks. The strong man in the center of the human world actually colluded with the evil race outside the territory. Crash! The terrifying offensive had just emerged, and suddenly the whole world was on the verge of collapse. Susu, it's really hard to wait for such a long time. This time, it is the time of victory outside my territory. Several black shadows with extremely terrifying strength surged at will, and immediately turned their eyes to the sky above some mountain peaks in the kingdom of angels in the distance. There are countless extremely powerful breaths looming. Leader, we have been discovered. In the Endless Flame Alliance, someone finally spoke up. In that case, let's fight. Xiao Yan chuckled lightly, and immediately walked into the air together with several strong men behind him, roaring towards the Holy Trial Mountains in a mighty manner. Unexpectedly, as powerful as the center of the human world, it secretly colluded with the evil race outside the territory. This horror is the worst result. Don't forget the agreement between us. Seeing the arrival of the Endless Flame Alliance army in such a veiled posture, in the center of the human world, the eyes of the son of the gods also fell viciously from the heads of several foreign evil races. That's natural. Among the extraterritorial evil races, the supreme commander of the holy race, the Earth Protector, FA and others smiled grimly. Golden Dragon King, Holy King. 2 demigods. Such a battle is terrifying, but just relying on this thing is not enough. While speaking, a gloomy smile suddenly appeared on the latter's gloomy face, and he immediately stretched out his old palm from under the black robe, only to see a vertical eye lying quietly in it. The supreme commander of the Holy Clan, the heavenly demon Holy Emperor. This guy, I'll deal with it. The Holy King narrowed his eyes slightly, and the dazzling sacred flame spurted out, covering most of the sky. Obviously, the strength of the two is almost equal to that of equals, and only the Holy King can deal with this level of powerhouse. Son of God, leave it to me to deal with it. Xiao Yan also nodded solemnly. The remaining powerhouses such as the 9-layer reincarnation rank will be dealt with by me and the Endless Flame Alliance army. Go! The Endless Flame Alliance army completely fought with each other. Damn! Are we just sitting there waiting to die? The catastrophe has come. Do it! Help the Endless Flame Alliance. For a time, the melee in the Kingdom of Angels was divided into two factions, and the two armies were also completely fighting in the Kingdom of Angels. The Kingdom of Angels, which used to be peaceful, is now extremely lively. The Second World War today is about to break out. Please remember this book's first domain name. Tang San Chinese website mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 2857. Little bastard, do you think that you have obtained the devil's robe, and your strength reaches the end of the cycle of reincarnation, so you can be my enemy? It's ridiculous. The armies of the two sides were completely fighting together, and the entire Kingdom of Angels was in chaos. At this time, a cold smile appeared on the fierce face of the son of the gods. Obviously, after the battle in the underworld, he was full of resentment towards the descendant of the Shao clan who made the most profit. Yes or not, you will know after a try. The corners of Xiao Yan's eyes drooped slightly, and he also sneered. As soon as the voice fell, Xiao Yan's body was roaring with the endless power of holy flame, and even the space under his feet had faint traces of collapse. Boy, this fire, give it back to you. In the distance, Xiao Tianming surrounded Lei Master, and immediately returned the source of the third holy flame to Xiao Yan. Today's Xiao Tianming and Lei Ju, although their strength is terrifying, but after the battle with Slaughter Angel just now, they have been unable to participate in this battle in a short period of time, so this time the battle situation has gradually become confusing. After all, the top level of combat power is still the same. The extraterritorial evil clan and the center of the human world joined forces to occupy an absolute advantage. Buzz. With the return of the third holy flame, Xiao Yan's overall strength has become stronger and stronger. Even now that the ruler of the gods is returned to the Holy King, and Holy Flame lacks divinity, Xiao Yan still has the confidence to compete with the enemy ****Sun. This seat is honored as the deputy world leader of the center of the human world, and I will kill you here today. The son of the gods let out a long whistle, and his tone gradually became hideous. Obviously, he also knew how difficult Xiao Yan was, so he would not leave any chance for Xiao Yan to turn around. Actually, I'm also very curious. Why is the legendary human world realm lord always a divine dragon who can't see the end? But today, the deputy world master of the center of your human world took the lead in colluding with the outside world. This time, you must die. Devil evil light. Xiao Yan's eyes became icy cold. Instead of talking nonsense with the Son of Man, countless extremely evil handprints appeared on his hands, and he immediately pressed against the void beside the Son of Man. The dark green demon power slowly poured out, like shining stars flickering. Where the power slipped, the space instantly shattered. With Xiao Yan's current level of strength combined with the attack of the demon power, I am afraid that even the peak powerhouses of the 9 reincarnation rank would be extremely difficult to deal with. This bastard, egg. Feeling the whistling of these demonic stars, the human *** child's eyes shrank slightly, and then his hands slowly closed, and a black and white torrent flowed slowly. The power of destruction contained in it was extremely extraordinary. The power of demons is too mysterious. I am afraid that apart from the power of angels, there is not much power that can compete with it. Buzz. The demon star arrived in an instant, but when it came into contact with the void around the Son of Man, it was blocked by the strange black and white torrent, and shock waves that were visible to the naked eye raged. At the core of the battle, the space kept collapsing. Quiet the lotus platform. Xiao Yan frowned, and then his body suddenly retreated, but in the process of rapidly retreating, a flaming lotus platform with almost 9 brilliant colors was thrown at the Son of God. This thing, but now Xiao Yan relied on the strongest ultimate move brewed by the fusion of the source of holy flame. The whole body of the gorgeous lotus platform exudes endless flames of heaven and earth, as if even reincarnation-level powerhouses can easily melt away. The void begins to twist, and circles of violent and extreme destructive power have caused everyone in this world to be slightly startled. Bang bang bang! The flame lotus platform burst open in an instant, and the lotus leaves fell off, immediately driving the destruction lotus heart hidden in the center of the lotus platform, attacking the Son of God. However, just when these forces were about to attack the Son of God, a huge black and white figure suddenly burst out from the void in the distance. The latter arrived in front of Xiaoyan in a flash, and immediately his palms full of demigod power clenched into fists, with dazzling black and white power, slamming away at Xiaoyan's tinling guy. Dong dong dong! A sharp collision sounded, Xiaoyan's body shook again, and immediately flew out a distance of several hundred meters. In that high sky, the Son of Man was shrouded in a giant made of the power of a demigod at this time, and the black and white torrents roared, protecting the Son of Man like an indestructible armor. At this time, the Son of the Gods, his eyes were full of astonishment. His sudden attack just now did not achieve any substantial effect. At this time, his arms were buzzing, as if he had just attacked a particularly strong piece of iron, but Xiaoyan's body was tempered by the blood of the Golden Dragon King, and even the bones of the Dragon God existed. So that Xiaoyan's physical strength is now infinitely close to the divine body, and it is difficult to cause substantial damage to him with ordinary attacks. A fighting skill similar to that of a fighting emperor. Xiaoyan raised his head and looked at the divine son who was full of slaughter in his eyes, and his heart gradually became serious. Although the strength of the two of them is different, but after fighting each other, neither of them can do anything to gain the other. Of course you are extraordinary, but today, you will surely die. Blood sacrificed the body of a demigod. The Son of God let out bursts of laughter, and there was a drop of extraordinarily pure blood in his chest. For a time, the body that was originally only constructed from an energy body seemed to be transformed into a beast that only knew how to kill. Every part of the body was filled with suffocating lethality. That feeling, as if the magnificent giant standing in front of Xiaoyan now is another person's Son of God. Two gods? I've been underestimated. Can you bear the anger of the Xiao clan? Facing the desperate actions of the Son of God, Xiaoyan smiled indifferently, and then his handsome face instantly solidified, and a chilling killing intent and surging power emerged together. Suddenly, behind Xiaoyan, there were countless flames of light blooming, as if he was cheering, welcoming the arrival of some supernatural beings. After a while, those flames gradually formed a huge network of complex flame patterns, which seemed to have an ancient object, slowly spread out from it. 7 Realms Artifact, Flame God Cauldron? With this, you want to be the enemy of this seat? Looking at Xiaoyan's last resort, the smile on Son of Man's face became more and more hideous. Although the power of this thing is extraordinary, it lacks divinity. To hit a stone with an egg. After countless years of silence, it's time to show your true strength to this group of ignorant and self-righteous guys. In the face of Ren Shenzi's ridicule, Xiaoyan was extremely calm. But it was this extremely abnormal calm that caused Ren Shenzi's heart to tremble violently. Please remember this book's first domain name. Tang San Chinese website mobile version reading website. Continuing from the previous episode 2858. You can search for Fighting the Sky God, Yandy Cool Notes novel, in Baidu to find the latest chapter. HMPH. A foolish guy. Facing the unhurried smile on Xiaoyan's face, Ren Shenzi's nerves became extraordinarily sharp, and immediately without any hesitation, he directly controlled the magnificent giant and launched a sky-shattering trend to face Xiaoyan one after the other. Whistling away. Although he also knew that the Flame God Cauldron was broken and could not cause any harm to himself, he could always smell an uneasy wave from Xiaoyan's body. Fenju, Flame God Cauldron, refining the world. The Fenju cultivation technique revolved along the limbs and bones in Xiaoyan's body, and immediately turned into countless flame energy, pouring into the Flame God Cauldron at an astonishing speed, building and mobilizing the vast divine power in the Flame God Cauldron. The original ancient and simple Flame God Cauldron instantly became swollen and red, and in the endless abyss of the cauldron, suddenly there was a vast and boundless flame power rushing. Volatility is transmitted. Obviously, with the improvement of Xiaoyan's strength, the use of Shengyan and Yanshan Cauldron has also become more consummate. Bang! Suddenly, thousands of Zhong-sized flame beams rose from the mouth of the gigantic Flame God Cauldron, carrying a pattern of holy flames on it. As soon as it appeared, it broke through the shackles of time and space and attacked the roaring Son of God. And go! The impact of such a terrifying beam of flame is fierce, and just as it surged, the face of Ren Shenzi was violently moved, but Ren Shenzi was also very human. They roared behind him, forming a terrifying force that shook the universe. Immediately, the two raised their old palms at the same time, as if they were ruling the living beings in the judgment world, and slapped them at the flame beam. The two collided head-on, and the surrounding space of hundreds of meters burst apart instantly, and the bodies of the two were shaken back by the huge shock wave. I still can't believe I can't take care of you. The torrent of the blood river, the trump card. The Son of Man raised his head slightly, and looked at the two quasi-gods who were pouring into the clouds and could not be identified. Xiao Yan came from the direction of culling. In the face of this outstanding talent in the Xiao family, even comparable to Xiao Tianming's existence, Ren Shenzi will not give him any chance. And just when Xiao Yan was trying to fully mobilize the power of the Yanshan Ding to fight against the Son of God, the bloodline of the Xiao clan hidden in the depths of his body became agitated slightly. Such a strange feeling seems to be the great leader of a certain Xiao clan. What can you tell? The doubts in his heart gradually expanded, and Xiao Yan suddenly raised his head to look at the battlefield between the two quasi-gods who were fighting deep in the clouds. Go back first. As soon as the thought in his heart emerged, a violent uneasiness was transmitted from the depths of his mind, and he immediately took the flame god cauldron into his hands and fell towards the ground of the Holy Inquisition altar. The sense of touch that came from the blood of the Xiao clan just now seemed to intentionally remind him of the danger. At the same time, in the entire sky of the melee, the digital masters also felt the inexplicable information in the same way, and they all imitated Xiao Yan. Looking at Xiao Yan, Xiao Tianming, and even the Holy King who fought against the semi-god level powerhouses of the evil race outside the realm in the sky, the Golden Dragon King and others retreated from this world together, and the remaining human powerhouses also retreated, instantly surrounded by on the holy altar. What are you doing? In the center of the human world, apart from the Son of God, the other two 9-layer reincarnation level peak powerhouses also took the powerhouses behind them and scolded the endless Flame Alliance powerhouses who suddenly retreated. Ho ho ho! However, before their doubts poured into their hearts, deafening voices gushed out from above the clouds in the sky, and a vague low-pitched hoarse voice roared like a real mansion. Destroy the Zan Gong, God will strike with an arrow. The grand and ancient voice was intermittent, but without exception, it reached the ears of everyone in this world. Just after hearing this extremely vague voice, even the powerhouses of the 9th reincarnation rank, the cold hairs on their skins stood up instantly, as if they smelled countless inherent dangers. Facing the danger of death like this, several great experts in the Endless Flame Alliance took action at the same time, and desperately displayed thousands of layers of defensive barriers, trying to protect everyone's lives. Not good. Feeling such a sudden pressure from heaven and earth, the extraterritorial evil clan and the strong man in the center of the human world exclaimed and rushed into the evil cracks in the distance as if they were fleeing, and at the same time displayed many evil enchantment defenses. Boom! The clouds in the sky flickered, and I saw a bunch of dazzling light bows flickering again, just like the scene of the fall of the slaughtering angel, reappeared. This blow runs through the stars and wipes out all life. The original projection of the first seat was destroyed. The foreign evil race, the two guardians of heaven and earth, shrank slightly, and there was an indescribable shock in his eyes. Once upon a time, Xiao Yeshan was unable to compete head-on against the leader outside the realm, so why has it evolved into this situation now? Cough cough. Your strength is indeed several times stronger than the last time. In the clouds, the voice of the leader of the outside world came out, but very few people could find that Xiao Yeshan's old body had a pure white ice sword hanging upside down. That ice sword burst out with endless cold light, and it was ruthlessly claiming Xiao Yeshan's life. Obviously, in this battle between the two quasi-gods, both losers. Such a pity. The voice of the leader of the outside world slowly disappeared, and immediately the world was suddenly filled with an indescribable icy aura, making people shudder. Kill! Kill Xiao Yeshan! Countless people rushed to catch up, urging the power of the source, and roaring away at Xiao Yeshan. Even though Xiao Yeshan is capable of profound knowledge, he was seriously injured by the head of the outside world, and now he is only a dying person. If he can be wiped out for the evil people outside the realm, it is tantamount to a lot of gains. But, damn, miscalculation. A particularly heavy look appeared on Xiao Yushan's old face, and then he looked at the three demigod-rank powerhouses who were roaring in front of him, turned around, and poured his body into the strange sarcophagus again, and immediately tore out the time channel. Return to the underworld. It's just that no one noticed that behind Xiao Yushan's solemn expression was a sly smile. It seemed that all of this was done intentionally by the latter. CC. Even if Xiao Yushan fled here in an instant, it caused countless human beings to gasp heavily. The attack he just unleashed was undoubtedly in the category of divine arts. Thousands of layers of defensive barrier nearly destroyed more than 80%. What a huge amount of destructive power is needed. Guru, that is, the source of the divine soul of the slaughtering angel, and the holy soul of the angel. Although Xiao Yushan said he was injured, no one could stop him if he wanted to leave. However, the next moment, countless people crowded around, looking at the clouds where the two quasi-gods just fought, where two extremely pure light groups were surging slightly, overflowing from them. Energy fluctuations have long been beyond the scope of this time. The address of the latest chapter of Fighting the Sky God, Yan Emperor, the full text of Yandi, the asterisk of Fighting Against the Sky, is here. The TXT download address of the Fighting Against the Sky, Fighting the Sky God of Yandi mobile phone reading. For the convenience of reading next time, you can click on the favorite below to record this time. Chapter 2874 to asterisk the source of the soul. The reading record, you can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandi, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 2859. You can search for Fighting the Sky God, Yandi Cool Notes novel, in Baidu to find the latest chapter. Countless people stared at this riddled void with their mouths wide open. Among the illusory clouds in the void, there were two extremely dazzling light groups hanging in the air. In the light group, there is an ancient atmosphere that is sacred and awe-inspiring, as if you can get some unpredictable power when you touch it. Patriarch? Countless people were attracted by it, but only Xiao Tianming had a worried look on his face. However, his body was very weak now, and he could only watch Xiao Yushan, who was seriously injured and fled into the underworld, leave, and his heart was viciously touched. No one knew that Xiao Yushan, who was a quasi-god, had already completely stepped into the category of god-level exercises, and that level was enough to capture the heavens and the earth and use it. He also cultivated the fifth realm of Fenju, as well as the gods. Rank fighting skills, the strength is so strong that ordinary people can't guess. The power of the four gods has already controlled the second, and it is a well-deserved quasi-god power. The whereabouts of the leader of the extraterritorial world are strange and mysterious, and almost no one knows her specific strength. It's just that Xiao Tianming clearly remembers that the Patriarch once said that if the two fought one-on-one, even Xiao Yushan himself would not be able to defeat the leader of the extraterritorial region. This was the scene of the First World War, when Xiao Yushan tried to step into the ancient battlefield to seek the way of fighting gods. Now the two of them are in a short-lived battle and both loses. This is undoubtedly an extremely unfavorable thing for the Xiao clan, and even for the Daqin world, because no one knows what the head of the extraterritorial is playing in his heart. Ha ha ha! Without Xiao Yushan, how can you ants fight with me? Immediately, countless powerhouses from the evil clan hidden in the evil cracks and the powerhouses in the center of the human world who were embarrassed with them stared at the two beams of light above the sky, with countless greed bursting out of their eyes. Don't be ashamed. Facing the sarcasm of the other party, the Holy King and the Golden Dragon King stepped out of thin air, and the strong spatial fluctuations overflowed slightly, causing the energy of this world to tremble violently. No matter what, this battle must have a complete end. Today ruined this place. Kill me. In the evil black fog where the heavenly demon sage emperor was, bursts of ecstatic expressions suddenly appeared, and he immediately commanded the many powerhouses behind him, and suddenly launched a monstrous offensive against the remaining angels of the Endless Flame Alliance and the Angel Kingdom. The armies of the two sides fought together again, and they all rose up to kill like hungry wolves with red eyes, and the momentum was extremely terrifying. HMPH. Do you really think I don't exist? The Holy King, the Golden Dragon King and others swept into the sky one after another, and immediately intercepted the heavenly demon Holy Emperor, the Heaven and Earth Protector, the FA, and the three who were trying to capture the soul source. Go! The three people in the evil black mist all looked at each other, and immediately launched a monstrous offensive directly at each other. Between punches and palms, the terrifying strong wind directly tore the already broken void into dark cracks, and the battle was terrifying. However, in the battle of these five people, it is obviously difficult to distinguish the winner for a while. Stop them for me. The armies of the two sides were fighting together, and the son of the gods also roared with ulterior motives, and then his body burst out and swept directly towards the two groups of light above the sky. This kind of soul source who has stepped into the soul of the gods, I am afraid that only the demigods of their level can have the qualifications to touch and absorb. If the ordinary 9-layer reincarnation level powerhouse is contaminated, I am afraid that they will die. This thing is mine. Susu. The three of the heavenly demon sage emperor intended to ** it, but they were intercepted by the sacred king and the two. It was too late to think about why the sacred king and the two did not take action on this thing. The figure of the Son of God flashed, and the black and white palm carrying the power of the demigod entered directly. The two groups of light were grabbed from the clouds, and the smile on his face became more and more proud and brilliant. Where is it so easy? The smile on the face of the Son of God just appeared, but a ghostly figure appeared in the cloud layer on the opposite side. The ancient and deep slab-sized flame cauldron with a strong scorching aura smashed it directly at the body of the Son of God. Clang clang clang, the flame god cauldron easily hit the skin of the Son of God, and a pain like a spasm spread out from the depths of the soul, and the smile on the face instantly solidified, transforming into endless killing intent and hideousness. With a blow with all his strength, Xiaoyan's arm and meridians were numbly shaken, but Ren Shenzi forcibly held back the huge pain. His palm instantly enveloped two ** of light, and then he grasped it in the air, trying to hold it in his hand as quickly as possible. Xiaoyan, you are courting death. Human god Sun's face was ashen, and he hurriedly roared, and then his full attention was devoted to the two groups of light. As long as he can obtain them, let alone Xiaoyan, even the Holy King and others will probably not be able to cause any obstacles to him. The soul of the gods, the fighting skills of the gods, the body of the gods, the exercises of the gods. This is the power ranking of the four gods. Quote. At this moment, looking at the desperate Son of God, Xiaoyan shook his head helplessly. Obviously, Xiaoyan now had nothing to do with him, and then turned his head to stare at this illusory cloud. It seems that those illusory clouds are filled with extremely strong soul power. When my soul power pours into the clouds, it seems to be swallowed and absorbed by the latter in an instant, and even the 9-layer spiritual palace in my body is also at this moment. Exudes an unprecedented throbbing. Step into the divine source of the soul of the gods, the angelic soul. Xiaoyan didn't move hastily, but stepped back slightly, and then looked at the movements of the Son of Man and the changes in the clouds with a dignified gaze. Judging from Xiaoyan's certain perception, this thing is definitely not simple. Waiting for this seat to devour this thing, I will naturally take care of you. Rest assured, I will definitely give you the most satisfying way to die. Ren Shenzi noticed Xiaoyan's retreat intention, and couldn't help but let out bursts of penetrating smiles. Your arm. Suddenly, the corner of Xiaoyan's mouth in the distance raised a strange arc, and then suddenly said, reading link to ukanshu.com, Gollum. Even if Son of God wanted to refute Xiaoyan, but with Xiaoyan's voice falling, Son of Man could clearly feel. When his black and white palm carrying the power of a demigod touched the light of the soul, the source of light, at first, a soft and jade-like texture poured out, and then there was a strange feeling of being swallowed and eaten. Crack! Immediately, a ** arm turned into bursts of dim light and poured into the source of the soul. At this moment, the scalp of the Son of God was numb, the fear in the depths of the soul spread rapidly, and the cold sweat broke out on the forehead. What kind of evil thing is this? He cut off his arm, the blood in his body tumbled, the source of his strength was damaged, and the Son of God roared with resentment on his face. The demigod powerhouse is indeed qualified to devour the soul source, but that's just the qualification. Since you can't take it, let me do it. While speaking, 9 colored flames rose up around Xiaoyan's body, and an ancient flaming giant cauldron swelled rapidly, directly covering Xiaoyan and the divine source of light. The address of the latest chapter of Fighting the Sky God, Yan Emperor, the full text of Yandi, the asterisk of Fighting Against the Sky, is here. The TXT download address of the asterisk of Fighting Against the Sky, Fighting the Sky God of Yandi mobile phone reading. For the convenience of reading next time, you can click the favorites below to record this time. Chapter 2875, The Source of the Terrifying Soul. The reading record, you can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandi, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis.